Are you also confused between choosing Canada or France for your studies? You are not alone. Honestly, I wanted to go to Canada. It was my dream destination. But when I looked at the recent political situation and the visa data, I realized the math doesn't add up the way it did 5 years ago. That's when I started comparing it against a European country like France. In this video, I'll share with you how I rated both countries on 6 categories: cost, language, housing, part-time jobs, full-time jobs, and immigration. By the end of this, I want you to tell me which country wins. Let's start with the biggest shock: money. In Canada, I was looking at average tuition fees of undergraduate degree is 36,100 Canadian dollars a year for an international student. That is roughly 22 lakh rupees. Even a master's is $21,100. That is 13 lakh Indian rupees. And there are basically no budget-friendly public options for us. Then I checked France. Public university tuition is just 2,850 euros, about 3,000 US dollars, which is roughly 2.5 lakh Indian rupees. That is a $24,000 savings every single year, roughly 20 lakh rupees annually. You could literally buy a brand new car every year with the money you save on just school fees. Because of this massive difference, Canada gets a 3 out of 10 for affordability. France, it's an easy 10 out of 10. Now, I know what you are thinking. The language. Canada is English, and to be fair, Canada wins here. We gave them a 9 out of 10. Life is just easier when you speak the language perfectly. I'm giving France a 5 out of 10 on language. But let's be specific. For day-to-day survival, outside campus, you need to learn some basic French. Grocery shopping, ordering coffee, navigating the metro, dealing with your landlord, and most importantly, actually settling in and integrating into French life, basic French is non-negotiable. But here's what most people don't realize. Inside the classroom, it's a completely different story. Right now, there are over 1600 English taught programs across France. We are talking top-tier schools like HEC Paris, Schema, and ESCP offering full bachelor's and master's degrees designed specifically for international students, 100% in English. So, the language barrier isn't stopping your degree, it's just a skill you pick up for living there. Let's talk housing and lifestyle because this is where the Canada dream gets a bit frozen. Canada has two problems. It's expensive, $1,000 to $2,000 plus for a room in Toronto, approximately up to 1.2 lakh Indian rupees, and it's freezing minus 40 degrees Celsius. France wins here on 3 fronts. First, the climate is milder. Yes, it gets cold, but not as bad as Canada. Second, you can still rent in some smaller cities like Grenoble, for example, at just 400 euros. In fact, we actually made a dedicated video breaking down the cost of living in 7 major French cities. I've linked it in the description below so you can check that out for more options. Third, the biggest difference. France has CAF. The French government actually refunds 30 to 40% of your rent directly to your bank account. Canada gives you 0. Better weather plus free money for rent. France gets a 9 out of 10. I'll just give Canada a 5. Round 4. Part-time work. This is where actually Canada wins. They recently increased the work limit to 24 hours a week. That is huge for pocket money. France is strictly capped at 964 hours a year, which averages out to about 20 hours a week. It's close, but those extra hours matter. Also, it's comparatively easier to find part-time jobs in Canada, considering it's an English-speaking country. Canada takes this round with an 8 out of 10, France gets a 6. Now, let's talk about life after graduation. For full-time jobs after graduation, the story flips. In France, a master's graduate starts around 38,000 to 45,000 euros. That's roughly 35 to 40 lakh rupees. In Canada, while salaries are similar, the job market is currently saturated, and securing that offer is much harder. France gets a 9 for ROI, Canada gets a 6. If you want to know exactly where the money is, we actually made a video on top 3 high-paying fields in France. Check that out to see the salary breakdown. Round number 6, immigration rules. Canada used to be the gold standard, but as of late 2024, they changed the rules completely. I've actually done a detailed video breaking down this entire situation on this channel, so check that out if you want the full deep dive. But the short version, Canada as of 2024, they are cutting visas and restricting permits. The door is closing. Score 3 out of 10. France is the opposite. The government explicitly said they want to welcome 30,000 Indian students by 2030. Plus, Indians get a special 2-year stay back option. They are rolling out the red carpet. France gets a 9 out of 10. So here's the final scorecard for 2026. The math is clear. With 48 points, France is the winner. Total score, France 48, Canada 34. Unless you have family in Toronto, France is just the safer, smarter bet right now. Let me know if you agree or disagree, or if I have missed to consider any other factor. But in the meantime, I know this is a lot of data. I actually have a full calculator that breaks down the hidden costs for both countries. Comment cost breakdown below and I'll DM it to you personally. Good luck.